what's going on YouTube? What's going on Husker Nation? This is Patrick Joy, the Real Men Wear Kills TV. First off, I'd like to apologize. I never got that video out for my full reaction to the Iowa game. Honestly, I never actually got it recorded. And really the reason was that was tough. Honestly, it was just, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. It was an embarrassing loss. It was a difficult to swallow loss. Don't really want to talk about it really. I really thought Nebraska was going to do something different. Show us something different. Show us a reason to believe. And I still believe that the Huskers are going to, only continue to improve. And, it's just, sometimes it's kind of hard. I mean, I lost to Penn State, it was just like the loss to Minnesota. It was just like what? You know what I mean? What do you do? I mean, seriously, what do you do when you see stuff like that? I know Nebraska's better than that. I believe Nebraska is better than that. And I'm not really sure what happened there. And there's all kinds of excuses we can make. Backup quarterback, senior day for Penn State, it was, time zone shift, whatever. You can make all these excuses all you want. The fact is, Penn State embarrassed us. And we should be embarrassed about the loss to Penn State. In that fashion, it was just... And don't get me wrong, there were moments in that game that were highlights that, were little sparks, so to speak. But, I don't know, it is what it is. I mean, it really is. I mean, we gotta move on. We got rivalry week coming here. Friday, Nebraska faces Iowa. I'm kind of doing this video today on Wednesday rather than I would have done on Thursday because the game's on Friday. But tomorrow's Thanksgiving, got family stuff going on with that. Shameless plug, I'm also working on getting a bunch of stuff uploaded to the website so that all I have to do for my business is release the items. And then you guys can, order that, order stuff off the website as far as that stuff goes if you guys want. We are running a massive Black Friday sale. I'm not going to get into the details, but it is going to be a massive Black Friday sale, and it's going to run all the way to sometime in December. So huge discounts store-wide on the website, huge discounts on Etsy. That's houseofjoyglassworks.com. Guys, Christmas is right around the corner. I start thinking about getting gifts for, the ladies in your lives and whatnot. Get them something nice, get them something handmade, artisan-made. I only put the best stuff I have out there for sale. I reject a good chunk of the pieces I make because I'm like, nope, it's not good enough. So definitely check stuff out. All high quality, all good stuff. I use high quality materials, all that stuff. So definitely check that out. I'm going to put the promo code out there if you want to order before Black Friday. The promo code is GOBYRED. However, there will be a link in the description below. But like I said, I'm releasing a bunch of products. I have a bunch of products like listed already as just drafts. Midnight on Thursday, I'm going to hop on. I'm going to sell launches. I'm going to select all those items, I'm going to just immediately release them. So it's going to be a huge product drop. There's going to be a bunch of stuff on the website, all kinds of stuff. You know, you're going to love it. But anyways, let's get back into football. Let's get back into Rivalry Week. Nebraska 7-4. Iowa is 7-4. We are an underdog. I looked up the odds this morning. I forgot them. There we go. So as of filming right now, Iowa is a 6.5 point favorite over Nebraska. Iowa's money line at approximately minus 230, and Nebraska's at plus 195. The over/under total points scored in the game is set to 38.5. That's the current odds. As of filming this, obviously those are subject to change as the game gets closer. Iowa's not bad this year. They're very similarly ranked to Nebraska. We're very similarly ranked to them. But, you know, Iowa's gotten kind of hot as of late. So, what's it going to take for Nebraska to overcome the odds and beat Iowa? Let's really look into that. Well, we're going to have to win the turnover battle. I got notes up here, just see me glass up there, I got notes. Iowa has a history of winning games in this series by forcing turnovers, so Nebraska must avoid giving the ball away, and they need to try to create takeaways of their own. Like, that needs to happen. We need to leverage that pass defense. Nebraska does have an elite pass defense, and it's the nation's second best. Whereas Iowa's passing offense is ranked 129th. So Iowa's got one of the worst passing offenses. We have one of the best passing defenses. So this is an advantage for Nebraska. Which means we need to be pressuring their quarterback, and we need to disrupt Iowa's passing game. At the same time, we need to be forcing them into passing situations where they have to pass. So we need to dictate what they're able to do on the field. We gotta stop the run. Like, that has to happen. Like, we need to be disciplined against Iowa's strong running game, because they do have a strong running game. And we need to avoid giving up big plays when they run. And we need to keep the ball out of Iowa's elite punt returner, Caden Winston. These things have to happen. Like, these are the things that it's going to take for Nebraska to win. We need to play disciplined football. Penalties and special teams breakdowns have cost Nebraska in the past against Iowa, and Nebraska must play a clean game, limit penalties, and avoid special teams disasters. Which, I mean, our special teams unit is actually pretty decent this year, so I'm not worried about, special teams having any disasters there. But it could happen. Penalties. Penalties are going to be a tough one. They've hurt us in the past. And yes, we played significantly more disciplined football this season than we have in the past, and we've had significantly fewer penalties called against us this season than in the past. But we need to make sure that doesn't carry over, especially in a game that's going to be as charged as Nebraska versus Iowa, because it is a rivalry game. And yeah, it's not on the same level as Nebraska-Oklahoma or Nebraska-Colorado from back in the days of the Big 12, but it's still a big rivalry thing. Another thing we need to do is we need to win the line of scrimmage. We need to win the physical battle in the trenches. This is absolutely crucial as well. We need to control the line of scrimmage on both sides, on both offense and defense. We need to be able to run the ball effectively, and we need to stop Iowa's run game. Like, this all has to happen. So, what do I want to see from Nebraska? I want to see all of this, but I also want to see us playing with passion, playing with a fire in our bellies. I mean, not just a fire, I mean a raging inferno. We need to prove to the nation that we are a team that is a must-beat team. To have any, we need to be playing like we got a target on our back and we don't care that we have a target on our back. We go out there and play hard. We need to win the battle in the trenches. We need to keep the penalties low. We need to be forcing turnovers. We need to be making big plays on offense. We need to really... We need to play like we got nothing to lose. And really, we don't. We're not in contention for the playoffs, let alone the national title. We already have a bowl game. We're already bowl eligible. So this just needs to be, we got nothing to lose. Let's go out there and kick Iowa's ass. Pardon my language, guys, but we need to go out there and kick Iowa's ass. We need to play like we got nothing to lose, because the most dangerous person on the planet, the most dangerous team is a team that has nothing to lose, and we've got nothing to lose. And you best bet Iowa's going to be playing the same way. They're going to play like they got nothing to lose. We need to be playing with that giant freaking boulder on our shoulders. Not just a chip, a freaking boulder. That's what it's going to take for Nebraska to win. And if Nebraska can do that, great. Looking back at the odds again, over set 38.5. Iowa's a 6.5 point favorite. If I'm going to put a score on this that has Nebraska winning, if we do everything I just talked about, we can beat Iowa. It's going to be close, it's going to be ugly, but it's going to send a message. And that message is Nebraska does remember how to win. We need to play with the same passion against Iowa that Nebraska played when they played Oklahoma back in the days of the Big 12 on Black Friday. We need that same passion, that same fire, that same grittiness to win at all costs. That's what we need for this game against Iowa. If we do all that, we win. We don't, we lose. We slip up on one of these things. One of these things I've talked about. We lose. That is the factor in this matter. Like, this has gone beyond playing for, playing to win. This has gone to, we need to just get out there and just bulldoze them. Or at least do everything we can to bulldoze them. We need to make them not want to come back to Nebraska. We need to play in such a way that they don't want to play against Nebraska ever again. That is the factor. And the fans, y'all need to turn out for this game. Y'all need to turn out and, fill that stadium. You got tickets to get there. The crowd in the stadium needs to be loud as all get out. We need to do our part as fans in the crowd. Now, I'm not going to be there, unfortunately, I don't have tickets. But we need to just, we need to let them know. They're in, we need to let Iowa know they're in Nebraska. And that the crowd is not their friends. I know we have a reputation of being the best fans of college football. And we are. But we need to be loud, we need to be rowdy, we need the Huskers to know they got the fan base on their side. We need the coaches to know that they got the fan base on their side. And we need Iowa disrupted by that noise. So if you're going to the game, get loud, get rowdy, make yourselves heard. Obviously, don't do anything that would embarrass us, embarrass the fan base or the school or anything like that. But you know what I mean. So let's face it. We have a home field advantage. It's Memorial Stadium. It's Memorial Stadium, Lincoln, Nebraska, Black Friday, rivalry game. We need to teach Iowa what it means to play Nebraska on Black Friday in Memorial Stadium. We need to. It needs to happen. So, I'm going to put a score out with Nebraska winning. That's if we execute everything that I just talked about. Big plays on offense, controlling the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, forcing turnovers, playing aggressive, playing with a fire in our belly, stopping Iowa's run, forcing them to pass. We do all of that. Nebraska 27, Iowa 24. '27 to 24 in favor of Nebraska. We slip up on one of these things, and we could have an embarrassing loss. Just one of these things. One of these things I've talked about. If we slip up on that, it's over. So it'll be an embarrassing loss. We do everything I just talked about. I'll say at least 27 points for Nebraska, 24 points for Iowa. It'll be close, it'll be gritty, it'll be ugly, but we'll win. With that, I'm going to hop off here. Y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. God bless y'all, and go Big Red.